Go when they first introduced him, it went all the way through where he was talking when they went horseback riding. He was talking when he was talking when him and Derek Carr had took them out to eat. And it was just crazy how, he talked about Derek Carr's money and how, how much money he was making. He's rich. I didn't eat this morning because I knew you were paying, and all this stuff. So stuff that young guys do, young flashy guys, if you will. They talk to G-Eazy. For people who don't know who that is, the youngsters should know, but he's a rapper, ladies and gentlemen. He was, sharing his opinion about, hey, I didn't even know you were, white, G-Eazy. I thought you was a black guy, and, just on and on and on. So he's a talker. So you definitely want to keep an eye out for him and watch him on this. We did have a quick pull, if you will. Normally we'll have someone that may get cut off the team, and maybe that's a week or two in, but they did not take any time in doing this. And Ronald Ali, who was first known for the Netflix series Last Chance U, he came in, he was undrafted free agent, he had an opportunity, he injured himself, he did not go to his training appointment. And the Raiders just said, look, we're going to show we're not playing around. Obviously, it would have been a longer bit of a, I don't want to use that word. They would have gave him more rope. Obviously, if he had been, a higher draft pick or a draft pick in general, but he's gone. That quick. He's out of there. So they are trying to set the tone and let guys know. Even Gruden was talking to some of the veterans, and they were, talking about hitting. We want to hit, and these are the defensive veterans. And if we just kind of bump into them, it's not that bad. And Gruden told them, like, hey, there's some other leagues that you can get paid $800, if you want to go and play there. And that really turned, the guys like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to work on my drill. So, John Gruden, we haven't got Josh Jacobs. We got Antonio Brown. We haven't even got into other wide receivers like Tyrell Williams. We got a little bit into Derek Carr. And we haven't even touched Vontaze Burfict. They did talk to Richie Incognito, but a pretty good start off to a series. So I will be tuning in next week, and then we'll talk about what really happened during preseason, because we'll have a little bit more meat and potatoes to go off of there. Now, meat and potatoes, Ezekiel Elliott, and the reason I say meat and potatoes, because he is the meat and potatoes of this Dallas Cowboy franchise right now. And he has said, and this is reported by Josina Anderson of ESPN, and shouts out to Josina Anderson. She is always dressed to impress, but her word is always bond. She always come with great information, great, stories. She keep, from her sources, and she keeps us current with everything that's going on. So Josina Anderson reported that Ezekiel Elliott had already told the Dallas Cowboys back in January that he was not going to play in 2019 if he did not get a new deal. So obviously this is something that's been going on for 8 months at this point, if he told them in January. And for me, I think what Zeke was doing was, I'm going to set the tone. I'm going to set it early. I'm not going to play this game behind the scenes. He played it in front, but I'm not going to play this game behind the scenes and let you know. If I don't get my money that I want, that I feel that I deserve, I'm going to be sitting. And I'm not surprised that the Dallas Cowboys did not budge on this. Obviously, if someone is telling you this in January, there's no incentive to try and get it done early, and there's still time for them to get the deal done. So that's why the Dallas Cowboys is in no rush to get a deal done in the next It could be because they got a deal out, but there's no urgency to maybe go over and beyond what they want to offer at this point. Season has not started. You don't know what's going to play out. You don't know if someone's going to get injured, and they could enter the season and start out hot and then show Zeke that they do not at that point not need him. Because I think at some point this deal will get done this year, and I was at the mindset that Zeke was going to show up and he was going to report to camp maybe week 2 of the preseason, but I think he might be serious on this deal of sitting out and not playing. He saw Le'Veon sit out, and I know he's thinking, well, I'm definitely more valuable to my team than I am as a free agent to someone. And I think Zeke is smart as thinking, hey, this is probably going to be my one and only big deal. And I'm willing to bet that it is. He's 24 right now. So if he signs another deal after that, which would be a 4-year, I guess it would be an extension, he'll be almost 30. And we already know 30-year-old running backs don't get signed big contracts. So he's trying to get this sooner than later before anything happens. I was leaning towards this is going to happen. This is going to get done. But I'm starting to change direction and view it as he's going to miss some games. I'm not ready to say he's going to miss the entire season, but I do think he's going to miss some games at this point if he doesn't show up. But he is sticking to his guns. I will give him credit, for it. And hopefully this deal get done so we can get some good football going on. Yeah, and I know some people are like, well, how could you say that about the Dallas Cowboys? Look, I mean, if Zeke is not there and they are on a primetime game and the running back is Alfred Morris or someone else, people will watch, but it won't be, the same impact. It won't be the same flair, if you will, for the game. So I'm just saying, I'm just being honest and being a NFL football fan and not allegiance to a team at this point. I'm just being unbiased. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, let's move on to a real interesting story. And you're listening to the Wait a Minute Show with your man, Jelani JB Bodie. The NFL has decided to host a game in Canada. Now, I know you're thinking like, okay, what's so interesting about that, Jelani? Here's the big thing, about that. That game that is being held in Canada, it is not selling the tickets that I think they were anticipating an NFL football game to have. Now, they are scheduled in week 3 to have the Oakland Raiders take on the Green Bay Packers. And it will be in Winnipeg, and it's not, it's not a 60, 70,000 seat stadium or anything like that. It's more probably about 26, 27,000 in attendance. But right now, ticket sales, and week 3 will be here before we know it, but ticket sales are really down, and they're not even over 8,000 tickets that have been sold for this event. So I'm trying to figure out what the NFL's angle was on this, and I'll explain here in just a moment because there's some information I want to pull up as I'm talking about this. But I want to get you the exact numbers. So the seats. The stadium, the arena that they were going to be playing in, is actually in Winnipeg, and it's 33,000 seats in the arena. And right now they have a little bit over 9,000 seats that they have sold. Now, here's the interesting part, and here's the crazy part about this, that I don't get why the NFL had this game in Canada. And it's more of the city that they had the game in Canada in. First off, they're having it in Winnipeg. Winnipeg, ladies and gentlemen. So if you do not follow, well, first off, Canada has their own football league. It's called the CFL, the Canadian Football League. But in the city of Winnipeg, they have their own football team. So why would you send a football team up to play in a city where they have their own football? That's one thing. The other thing is ticket prices. Right now, they're saying the cheapest single ticket that's available is $191. Oh, and it includes parking and applicable fees. Whoop-dee-doo. Here in Atlanta, it's like $50, $60, $70 or something like that for a preseason game. And people are wigging out about that, paying that. And you're going to charge almost $200 for a preseason game that you may get a quarter of Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr? No, that's not going to happen. And remember I said that, Winnipeg had their own team? Well, ladies and gentlemen, they're in the middle of their season as well. CFL starts early, so the Grey Cup Championship can be in and out of the way. It doesn't have to try and compete with any playoff football or anything like that the NFL has. But the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are 5-2 right now. They are tied in a three-way tie for the best, ladies and gentlemen, best record in the CFL. Not to mention, tomorrow they play against the Stampede, and they are going to have the opportunity to take sole first place in the Western Division. So why would they even be worried about the Oakland Raiders and the Green Bay Packers coming to town? They got their own team. They're doing well. They got their own aspirations as far as like what they want to do. And then you want me to pay almost $200 per ticket to watch someone, and this is no disrespect, but watch someone that will probably be working with us at our jobs in the next 3 to 4 weeks. That is what you're trying to put in front of us. To me, that's crazy. That's something Lopan will come up with. Indeed. Yes, no, nobody wants to see that game. Nobody in Winnipeg has any ties to the Green Bay Packers. They sure don't have any ties to the Oakland Raiders. The Buffalo Bills have played in Canada during preseason games, but Buffalo is a lot closer to the Canadian line, so you will get some people that are interested. But to take a game into a city where they got their own team and they're doing very well and they're trying to make a push for the playoffs and do something special themselves, and you want people to come in and pay your prices, that's why the ticket sales are what they are. They should have went to another city that did not have a football team. Maybe that would have worked. Maybe you would have got more in attendance. Now, they still got time, and maybe a spike could happen, but I doubt it. Keep that here in the United States. Let those fans that are, and I know that they probably use their road game or something like that, but keep it here for the fan that is going to appreciate those preseason games. They're already tough enough as it is going to, because you are playing these amounts. And then, like I said, in the second half, there are people that you have never heard of and probably never will hear of, and you're paying these quote-unquote professional athlete prices. Would have been better if they, just stayed home and everybody go see a Winnipeg game. They're 5-2 right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back from the break, I want to get into a little bit of basketball talk. KD has come out from his silence to speak about the whole ordeal with him and the injury and the Warriors and all that stuff. So we'll get into that. But also, the NCAA has come out with some new rules for agents, and it is rubbing some people the wrong way. We'll talk about that and more. You listen to the Wait a Minute Show. We'll be back after these words.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Vince Wright, the sports governor, and you know me from the Sports Done Right show. But when I'm not doing Sports Done Right, I'm in the executive mansion chilling with the Wait a Minute show. That's right, Jelani, Lopan, indeed. Keep it tuned here, y'all. The Wait a Minute show. My name is Vince Wright, and I approve this message.